Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. Errol the Truth Spence Jr. says he hopes Danny Garcia beats Brandon Rios so he can see what's really good with a fight with Danny Garcia later in the year. Stay tuned. What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button, also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Now, today is a great day of boxing. Shout out to Showtime. Thank you, Al Heyman. Also, shout out to the World Boxing Super Series. I don't know what's up with YouTube, but I was doing a Chris Eubank, George Groves. I was doing my post-fight talk on the live stream, and it keeps cutting me off. Keep in the middle of the stream. So I'm not sure if it's my phone, if it's a glitch with YouTube and they need to update it and remove the bugs. So I'm trying to figure that out. But it's almost overwhelming how much boxing we have on today. I'm getting ready for the Victor Ortiz versus Devin Alexander fight. I just watched my dude Caleb Plant. He looked good out there. He was outboxing the hell out of Porky Medina. Porky Medina is the type, he's just rugged and tough. So he's going to keep coming. Shout out to Caleb Plant on the victory. Now, in the welterweight division, I like this. Errol Spence on his verified account says, hopefully Danny Garcia wins so we can fight at the end of the year since he say he not ducking no action. And then he put the shrugging emoji. Listen, I don't like new media, me as a person, Ego, Boxing Ego. I've been doing this for a while. You got to have tough skin in this business. A lot of people, if you like what a fighter's doing, if you're a voice in the boxing community, people respect your videos or whatever, then they always try to find some way to, I guess, insult you for supporting what I feel is the right things. Like, oh, you Ego, you just love Errol Spence. You're dick riding. You're jocking Errol Spence. Listen, I'm going to tell you guys straight up. If more champions do what Errol Spence is doing, then they will get credit. Seeking the best challenges in the division, putting a constant pressure, staying disciplined, not really even trash talking. I don't care if you trash talk. I kind of like it. But more importantly, not to the point where your trash talk is actually, because there's some fighters who their trash talk is better than their actual performances. You know what I'm saying? Like, you look at guys like Floyd Mayweather, he trash talks, but he always lives up to the expectations and puts on dominant performances for the last 20 years in most of his fights. So he kind of it doesn't matter, I guess, if he's trash talking because he backs it up. But not everyone does that. Some people do more trash talking and the build-ups and stuff, and then they have a performance and you're like, hey, where was all that stuff you were saying? So I like Errol Spence. He's humble cat, you know what I mean, Southern hospitality, but he's no pushover. He's not gonna let you punk him. I think that was the time where I really noticed it was the press conference for the Kell Brook fight. He was in the UK, and then Kell Brook was like, I'm at you with the chocolate brown and basically realistically, you know what I mean, whatever he was saying. And Errol Spence was like, all right, do it. Don't run. Stand in the middle of the ring. Don't run. You know what I mean? And then you seen Errol Spence kind of G-check Kell Brook. And then we seen what happened in the actual fight. So he backed it up. But I like this pressure that he's putting on. And Errol Spence, I told you, he's one to watch. And he's one of the people I think that are doing it right. Like, I love what Deontay Wilder's doing. The Charlo brothers. The Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford. They're doing what they're really pursuing their legacy and greatness. You know what I mean? Errol Spence he has one of the best in recent post-fight. He has one of the best solutions to all the doubters and people who think shit is sweet. He says that anybody out there in my division who wants to rumble and they think I have all these flaws, no defense, you can exploit my weaknesses, call Al. Straight up, call Al. Especially if you're on the same side. Like Keith Thurman says this, oh, Errol's a good fighter, but he never fought a fighter like me. Call Al. Make the fight happen. You know what I mean? And then I said this in my personal opinion. I think there's been a lot of recent call-outs, like fake call-outs for Errol Spence Jr. You know what I mean? People saying, oh yeah, I want to fight, but I don't really think they're trying to fight him. And I love Mikey Garcia, but I think that was one of the people in recent memory where he mentioned Errol Spence, but you still got to get past Sergey Lipinets at 140. Then you're talking about having one more fight at lightweight. Then you're talking about moving up to 140. Errol Spence is at 147. So it's very premature to call out somebody that's a division higher than where you're about to fight. And your plans in the near future aren't welterweight plans. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's not a real call out because AKA you're not really ready to fight him anytime soon. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about like 2-3 fights down the road and you have to get past those fights, right? Danny Garcia, he also recently said, I think Keith Thurman's better than Errol Spence. Numbers don't lie, things like that. And he says, oh yeah, that'd be a good fight for me. Well, Errol Spence is basically doing what I told you guys, 2018, the new mantra, hashtag let's see it, let's see it. If it's a good fight for you, if you get past Brandon Rios, I mean, who's going to not want to see Danny Garcia, especially if he looks good versus Brandon Rios versus Errol Spence Jr. And we have to get to the point in boxing where it's such a dirty game where you'll see people who are doing it the right way, calling out top fights, you know what I mean, and they're representing themselves and acquitting themselves well as champions, and you see everything that's going on. You see them in some cases being ducked or whatever the situation is, and the fans some kind of way will try to find a way to flip it on that fighter. For example, I've heard from people who still aren't convinced, oh, he just beat Kell Brook because Golovkin already beat him, or Lamont Peterson, Matisse knocked him out, right? All right, well, Danny Garcia's never been knocked out, so you should be pushing for that fight if Garcia gets past Brandon Rios. You know what I'm saying? But this is what they try to pigeonhole certain fighters, where they say, I want you to improve your resume, but in all actuality, that's not what they want because they go against those fights happening. So me, I'm not like that. I like Danny Garcia. I think he gets disrespected in the game. I think he has the best resume at 140, 147, under 30. You know what I mean? The only person at welterweight whose resume you could even really compare is like a Pacquiao. I'm talking about active fighters, right? You can say whatever you want about Danny Garcia, and I'm not talking about just fights at 147. I'm talking about the totality of one's resume, like in any division that they've fought in. And you gotta say Danny Garcia has the best. I mean, he's been in there with Lucas Matisse when Matisse was killing dudes at 40. He's been in there with Amir Khan. They were talking about Amir Khan fighting Floyd Mayweather if he got past Danny Garcia. That was like the last little lily pad. And he was gonna fight Floyd when Floyd got out of jail for that domestic violence stuff after the Cotto fight, right? Danny Garcia fought Eric Morales when he was the champion, and Danny Garcia was an unknown challenger, right? And he fought him twice. And he did that because there was a rematch clause. Zab Judah, I don't know if I said Keith Thurman, Lamont Peterson, right? Kendall Holt, massive power. Mauricio Herrera. And I'm not talking about whether you thought he won, because I thought Herrera beat him, but I'm just talking about who he faced. You know what I mean? And only a few of those fights, if any, are questionable. And I think the only one that really stands out as questionable where he got awarded a victory is really the Mauricio Herrera. I don't think he looked good in the Lamont Peterson fight, but I didn't have a problem with the decision because I think Lamont Peterson didn't do himself any favors because he started off extremely slow with very minimal offense while Danny Garcia was chasing. But then the second half, he turned it up and he started making Danny Garcia pay and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So stuff like that happens. I think Lamont Peterson, if he would have done a little bit more in those early rounds, he easily would have won, but he didn't. You know what I mean? He was like making Danny Garcia miss and making him burn energy, but he wasn't really letting off any offense. But either way, it's a good fight. I like what Errol Spence is doing. Again, more champions should be doing this. And this is what he's doing right now in terms of with Danny Garcia. He's saying, I hope you get past Brandon Rios. That's the bigger fight for me, and we'll see. You know what I mean? So this is a way where I'm from. It's called calling someone's bluff. So you can see if he really wants it, because he says, we'll see. We'll see if he really wants that action. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of guys that don't seem to want the smoke. And then you have guys like Terrence Crawford. I think Crawford will fight anybody. But you got issues with, he's on the other side of the pond with a different promoter. So does Bob Arum really want to make that fight? Or does he want to do in-house fights with Crawford and Jose Benavidez or the Mean Machine and Jeff Horn? And, you know what I mean? Fights that he can kind of collect more money without having to pay a top-level champion or Al Heyman fighter. But salute to The Truth, Errol Spence, for the message on Danny Garcia. That would be a fight I'd love to see if Rios is beaten by Danny Garcia. Let me know your thoughts. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.